Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Galactic Ambition, a Star Wars Unlimited podcast, part of the Maindeck podcast family. I'm Dan.
And I'm Jason, and the shadows of the galaxy are here. Did you know that?
It's really dark. It's been so dark around me.
Super dark all around us, and I don't know how to feel about it. I know I've been having a lot of fun, but I don't know when does like light come back.
The light of the Jedi will be arriving soon. Remember that those really good guys from the Clone Wars who were really good.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I was getting a little nervous.
That'll be coming.
It's a little too dark for me. No, everything is going great. Here is my banter topic for today because it's actually something that's really funny.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna let you have it real quick.
I don't even know what it is.
No, and it's because I was thinking about it as I went to go get my water before we started this today. So, for those who don't know me, my life revolves around my cat. My little cat Sabrina. She's my world. And today she just wanted to be really combative about everything. Like everything you want to do, like pet her. You know, I was off for the first time in a lot of days, really busy at work. All right, I'm like, come on, Sabrina, let's go. She doesn't want to get up. She doesn't want to play. And I was watching something on YouTube. I don't know. I was like background music while I was just kind of cleaning my room. And then some Star Wars thing came up just for, I don't know, somebody's podcast. I didn't listen to it long enough because it opened with like lightsaber sounds and Sabrina probably jumped like 15 feet across my room. She went and hid in the closet. It was a whole ordeal. So I think she's scared of lightsabers.
Oh no!
Yeah, I know.
So are you gonna try like exposure therapy? Like you're just gonna sit down and watch like the prequel trilogy with Sabrina?
Need to. I don't know. I just don't know why when I said jump, I mean like jump like from my bed a good 5 feet into the closet. Like just okay.
Well, Jason, you and Sabrina probably haven't watched The Acolyte yet, right?
No. So like I said, I'm one of those when I do watch something anyway, I wait for a season to finish.
Yeah. Well,
so it just wrapped up. My friends were telling me
just wrapped up. It's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put my real completely non-spoilered opinion out there about The Acolyte because we have a small audience here who I have a platform. I'm gonna use it. Damn it. I really like it, actually. I think it's got look, there's some episodes where the pacing, maybe acting, stuff not top tier. Like that happens sometimes. But overall plot, enjoyed it. The fight scenes, are you kidding me? The choreography, absolutely incredible. Through that last episode too. What a treat. Some of the stuff that we got to see in there. I really dug it. I really like our new dark side aligned character. Very cool. Big fan. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was a lot of fun. I don't think it was like, it's not like, look, it's tough to top Andor. I think we might have peaked in Star Wars with Andor, but I'm not saying it's that. But did I enjoy it? Sure. Yeah, it was fun.
It certainly had some opinions.
Yeah, there are opinions. There are opinions
all over my Facebook feed. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, well, I guess I have to watch it at some point. And I think I plan to watch it when we leave to, Gen Con in like a week and a half or something like that. A little under 2 weeks now.
Watch it on the way up?
Yep, on the way up because I have a little bit of a layover now after my itinerary change. So that's probably part of my plan there.
Nice.
But speaking of Gen Con, they announced how they're giving out the promos at SDCC. You saw that, right?
They did. Yes. Yeah. Well, why don't you enlighten our audience first? So actually real quick first, because I think the promos were announced between our last episode and this one, right?
Yes,
so do we have to
talk just in general. Oh yeah, that's right. They were like the convention exclusive promos are actually insane.
Yeah, we got to take a second.
We got to take a second to let everybody know what they are.
So this is a convention exclusive announced very recently, like very short lead up to its actual release, since SDCC is happening like really soon, like this weekend or next weekend. I can't remember.
I believe it's this weekend.
Yeah, I thought so. So they announced it just like a week in advance, basically a week and a half, maybe. It's a set of promos, 6 cards that are sold as a set of with a suggested price of $100, which is what they're selling it first person, so they'll be selling it at that price. If you can't go to a convention this year, you probably won't be paying that price for it.
Probably not.
Um, Quite a bit more, I would assume. So these are only going to be given out at a series of, I believe it was 6 conventions, starting with San Diego Comic Con, Gen Con, and there's like a PAX or 2 in there, and Essen is one of them as well. So I can't remember the latter ones in the year. I kind of checked out of the article at that point because I wasn't going to any of them.
Right.
But a chunk of those, like the major convention of the year that FFG is going to be at, they're going to be selling this kit at. And the kit comes with 6 cards. All are in what looked to me like showcase foiling, I believe, that kind of like really reflective rainbow-ish or flat, actually more like a flat silver foiling, I would say. So it is 6 cards, and these 6 cards, it's a Sith theme. So the 6 cards are Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader, which like already is just like, okay, all right. Then we have, hang on, I'm doing this from memory right now. There's one other from Count Dooku.
Count Dooku. Yep.
Count Dooku. Then we have Kylo Ren, the new legendary from Shadows of the Galaxy. And then we have Asajj Ventress and Darth Maul, not Maul.
Yeah.
Darth Maul. So 2 cards that are from set 3 that they're releasing early, which is cool. It's just such a cool product. Super neat way to like, I mean, they're going to be sold fast. Well, you can talk about that in a second. These are going to go fast. I mean, just alone the price of Vader plus Kylo Ren. If this kit came with a regular Vader and a regular Kylo Ren, that would be $100.
Yeah.
Right now. And then it comes with 4 other cards. 2 of them are unreleased, unplayable in standard, unplayable in Premiere until set 3 releases. But you can talk to your Twin Sons group. I would assume they might let you play them.
Very certain at kitchen table level games, I will be jamming that Maul 100%.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Should we talk a little bit about
quick? I think it's important because Maul is actually like something mechanic wise is kind of like new the way he works. Like not new, but it's interesting how he works.
Yeah. So Darth Maul, I have a picture on the screen here for you. We'll talk about him first. Darth Maul is a 5 cost aggression and villainy. So the cards are all, you can see they're all in this like black and white thing with just the red of the Sith showing. Cool. It's very, very cool. But his aggression, red and villainy, of course. Force and Sith tags. Which Sith is a tag that hasn't been seen on quite everything yet, right? Where like Vader did get it. Vader did get it. I feel like I was looking at a Sith earlier that I felt like should have had it, but so it's good. No, I think I just got a little confused. But Force and Sith tags, 5 power, 6 HP, and has the ability this unit can attack 2 units instead of 1. So, Jason, tell us what's exciting you about this.
So what's exciting is when everybody asks, what does it mean by can attack 2 units instead of 1? It means it could deal its power to 2 units instead of 1. And it's not splitting that power. It's dealing the power that it's attacking with. That's nuts. Like, that is so cool. It's thematically awesome for aggression to have something like that. Flavor-wise, obviously, come on. It's dripping with flavor as a card. It's such an exciting thing as someone who just likes to turn dudes sideways. When my guy can get 2 years at once, it's bound to be really good. And not to mention the treatment the card got. And another thing that I guess we need to touch on real quick. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't look at the other promos. I don't remember. Do they still have their same rarity symbol? Because the 2 new cards say S on them, right? I believe they say S. So
they all say S's. They all do.
They all
including
do. Okay.
the original one. So I saw some people right away saying like, "Oh, it looks like they must be starter exclusive cards because they say S." That's
S is
incorrect.
Interesting.
S is just S for them is special rarity.
Special.
I think a lot of people assumed it was starter right away, but it's never been. It's been special rarity. It just is something that is outside of a booster in some way. Maul. Boy, I mean, 5 cost for a 5/6 is a reasonable stat line. Like that's a I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'd say that's reasonable edging on good. It's not like
It's not
blow
crazy.
you away,
It's
but
good.
yeah. The so the can attack 2 units instead of 1. The first thing I think of every time is, well, he's going to get attacked first, right? Like because that's only on attack, it's not when he's attacked. Um that said, look at the cost. You know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
ECL baby. We're going to ambush Maul into play, take out 2 things at once. Like even if Maul dies in the exchange, that is high value.
Yeah.
But like depending on what decks are being played, like there are situations where your opponent could have something like an R2D2 or a Grogu or something in play where you can be like, yeah, actually I'm going to take that out and something with like 4 HP, and now Maul took out 2 things, survived, and if they want to stop him from taking out 2 more, like you can't let him get 2 attacks off,
Right.
right?
You
You
can't.
can never let Maul get 2 attacks off because he's gained way too much value. So they're gonna have to either find an event to finish him off or throw 1 more card into him, which is like then he's 3 for 1ing
Yeah, which is awesome for
automatically.
that cost. It's incredible. Um,
Um, yeah, they like this and timely intervention, ECL, like all these. Oh, he's gonna be good.
he's gonna be very good. Very excited for that. So we can talk about our other card too, I suppose. We don't know what that other keyword is. We might as well talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about Asajj Ventress next. And like I like the Maul art, but I actually like the Asajj art a little more here. I think she looks so sharp. I'm
It is
actually
really
really excited
cool.
to see the full color version of this.
Yeah.
Asajj Ventress is a 4 cost, once again, aggression villainy. Who's surprised about that? Um, Force Separatist Sith, got a little Seppi tag in there, which is nice. 2 power, 4 HP, exploit 2. And what exploit means is we have no idea. There's
Yeah,
no
we don't
reminder text.
we don't have any insider info or anything hot like that. We don't know.
I'll speculate in just a second. Well, we can talk
Okay.
about that. But she also has an on attack ability, which is if you've attacked with another separatist unit this phase, this unit gets +3/+0 for this phase. So then she's attacking as a 5/4 for 4 with whatever exploit 2 means as well. So kind of like a little separatist kindred type deck that we're looking at. Like you want to play a bunch of separatists in this deck, presumably, and she can work nicely with them. Uh, and it is +3/+0 for the phase. I think that's like sort of an underlooked thing. That's
Yeah.
pretty interesting because a lot of abilities like this are +3/+0 for this attack, and this will pump her up for the phase, which opens her up to interesting ways of like readying her again and getting another attack off or something. Jason, have you thought about exploit 2 or the card in general? Do you want to talk
I
about it?
haven't because I'm trying like I don't want to like I don't know extrapolate from like other games or anything like that. But exploit sounds like I don't know something to do with like I don't know taking advantage of a weakness or taking advantage of one of my units. I don't know. Like so like I keep flipping back and forth. Does it's if something happen like do I have to do something on my units? Do I have to do something on their units? I don't know. So that's I just keep flipping the coin back and forth. So I haven't really kind of like even in my discussions with my friends, we're like, I have no idea what they're trying to say that does.
Yeah. It could, I mean, okay, so straight up, it could honestly be just about anything at
Mm-hmm.
this point. It would be very difficult for us to actually accurately guess what this is. The sort of one of the prevailing speculations I've heard from people is that exploit is potentially a mechanic that would act like raid, but for units. In other words, the attacking unit gets plus number power when attacking a unit instead of a base. Um, so a just unit focused power buff would be kind of interesting to make her, really good in particular at attacking opposing units, which I feel like would be on theme with Asajj in
Hmm.
particular. She was always just kind of like dueling, the Jedi and stuff in Clone Wars. Um, I think it would be kind of interesting because just based on how we how I've when I've taught the game, how people have responded to a lot of the game rules, or have kind of had assumptions about how game rules work. A lot of people have an assumption from either from other games, or maybe it's just intuitive this way, that you can only attack exhausted units.
Mm,
Basically, that there is some sort of penalty for exhausting and attacking with your units, in that they become vulnerable in some way. So I think of, when I think of exhausted as a vulnerable state, and I think of, as you said earlier, exploit as sort of a way of exploiting a weakness or a
yeah.
vulnerability. I think it'd be interesting if it was maybe just a power buff when attacking exhausted units in particular.
I was also thinking that it could be a power buff when you're attacking a damaged unit.
Oh yeah, just a
Yeah,
damaged one.
when we were
Sure.
talking, that was like my first thought. I was like, they're hurt, you're exploiting their weakness, so it allows you to kind of punch up into maybe a tankier damaged unit or something like that.
And with her ability, it would be like you can attack with your like throwaway separatist droid or something
So
into their crate dragon. And now, since you attacked with a separatist already and you put damage on the crate dragon, Asajj attacks into it for 7 or something,
yeah.
and potentially takes it out. Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting too. I have a wild speculation that I'm going to throw out
Ooh,
there. This
all
is
right.
the last one I'm going to throw out. Just based on the fact that she is buffing for the phase. What if exploit was something like, if she deals damage to a base, you can pay 2 or so. I don't know where the number comes from here, but you can do something to ready her. So like if she gets behind enemy lines, then she gets to exploit that advantage, and then you can like ready her and attack again or something like that. I don't know. I don't.
I don't
I
know.
think
That's kind of
that's
cool. That seems really, really good.
yeah. Well,
Really
she's four.
good.
She's four, man. That's a ton. She's
Yeah.
so expensive.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. No, I mean, like, look, I don't think that's right. Like I said,
Well, who
very far
knows?
fetched, but I just take it in a slightly different direction to think about.
Oh yeah, no, it's cool. It's fun to speculate.
Yeah. But either way, very excited for these. We're going to be going to Gen Con, and we are making plans. So, oh yeah, no, sorry, get back to it.
Yeah.
You wanted to talk about, they announced how they're selling these at San Diego Comic Con. So Jason, why don't you fill the audience in?
Yeah, it's going to be a first come, first serve X amount during the day scenario, which everybody was really
Perfect.
excited about. The reaction for
Perfect.
this was positive across the board. People who are not attending, very excited about how people are getting these promos, all that good stuff. Without the sarcasm, these processes are never easy to really iron out, especially with this turnaround time. Um,
Yeah.
it takes me back to kind of what we were thinking about with Lorcana last year. When at Gen Con, for those who don't know, Lorcana was at Gen Con last year, and I think it was the first event where you were able to get actual product, if I remember right, like actual booster boxes, what have you, US side, and they'd hole punch your badge.
Yep.
So that was kind of a prevailing rumor. That may happen at Gen Con, who knows? For those going to SDCC, best of luck. I'm interested to see what the number is per day, if that gets out in any way, or if there's like a speculation.
Yeah. I want to just talk about that method of delivery
Yeah.
just briefly. It's a I think there are a lot of factors to weigh when a company is trying to figure out, let's start at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So Fantasy Flight Games this could be extrapolated to any company really that is doing a card game or a card game product, but like let's talk about Ravensburger.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I try to pronounce it correctly and I fail every time. So Ravensburger at Gen Con last year released Lorcana. And as you said, it was a first come, first serve box sale thing. Jason, you and I have been to Gen Con a number of times. I've been there quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I have never seen something like what happened with Lorcana last year with the lines
Not at
and
all. That
the
was nuts.
the
And it was
hype.
people overnight
Yeah.
waiting to get in there on Thursday.
And I bring that up because I think it's important to remember that with a promotional item like this, the promotional items are not intended to be available to everybody. They're like, by their nature, that's like literally the point.
Yeah.
If they wanted everybody to get their hands on this, it would be a regular product that they have. Their literally the point of a distribution network is to distribute product
Right.
to people. So they get it. It would go through those channels. It would be normal. the promotional item is, and also, we think about announcing this 1 week before SDCC, 3 weeks before Gen Con. Is the point to get people to Gen Con? No.
No.
Um, what is the point of a product like this? And there are 2 points that I'm going to say there are 3 things. There are 3 things, 3 factors that you think about when you're a card game company creating a product like this. The first factor is, first of all, delivering something cool to your players. Okay. That is part of it. Right. And again, if they wanted to go to every player, they could do it that way. But they are trying to, they took the time to create these cards and everything. And they're passionate people at FFG who like wanted to just make something very cool. And that's great. There are going to be some really cool cards floating around. It is a bone to collectors who are sometimes the forgotten element of TCGs, and it's good to have limited things for that, for those people to be able to seek and collect. But I'd say that's actually one of the lowest on the totem pole as far as like what's of importance for these items. The 2 that I think are more important are, you are trying to get people to go to your store or your booth, not to make money really, because they could be charging a lot more than they're charging for these and still sell them just fine. You're trying to get people to go there to, and this goes with the second thing I'm going to say, actually. I'm going to just combine it all together. You want the people at the booth because you want them to look at everything your company's selling and be engaged and be involved and have a reason to seek you out, like for themselves personally. But you want everybody at this convention to be talking about you. That's why that is a reason. That is what happened last year with Lorcana.
Yeah.
It was the talk of the convention. There was no board game that could, in a famously board game and RPG focused convention, nobody could top the new TCG that released that year because of the hype that get built around these people waiting in line overnight and trying to get product. By short notice releasing this to conventions, you get a lot of built momentum right away for this product, and you build up basically the spectacle of acquisition of this. This is a sales tactic for getting more people at some of the biggest gaming conventions in the world. In fact, the biggest one, Essen, later it's going to be there.
Yeah.
Gen Con, the biggest one in North America. San Diego Comic-Con, not a gaming convention, but a big nerd convention. You're getting all these people to go, what is going on over there? Like, what do they have? Oh, a Star Wars card game? I didn't even know. Right? So it's unfortunate that it's not something that everyone's able to get. And it's unfortunate that, Jason, you and I were making our plans for getting up early on Thursday to line up. If anyone is going to be, you be there Thursday morning, hopefully near the front of the line. That's where we're going to be trying to be.
What we're hoping for.
We'd love to chat with you. We will definitely be there. The Maindeck crew, like our entire crew, will just be there trying to pick up this product. And we're not going to be alone. There's going to be a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how many people will be there when we show up.
Yeah, I'm worried about how early I'm going to be asking everybody to get up that day.
I'm actually good with whatever. I've kind of resigned myself to it because I don't have any events Thursday. I'll just go back to the hotel and go sleep. I will go take a nap and recover if I have to.
I won't. I'll power through like a champion.
Man, I'm too old.
I've got stuff going on I can't miss. But I guess that's the perspective I think people need to consider as well. It would be really great. It would be really cool if they just had the streamlined process, go online, purchase the thing, you get your ticket, show up whenever, pick the thing up. But that actually does a disservice to them as far as promoting the game, because the smoother it is to acquire this thing, this is going to sound bad, but the smoother it is to acquire this, the less press it gets, period.
Sure.
Right. So as long as I think you said, the important thing you said was, we don't know how many they're going to bring.
Yeah. We don't know
if they're bringing enough where the people who line up by and large were able to acquire it and feel like they got it, they can achieve all the goals They can have a big line, they can have a big hype, they can, they can get the press and they can get the product into the hands of the people who want it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I am of the skeptic camp on the whole thing. It stinks that it was a short notice announcement, and I think people reacted a bit more adversely because of the issues that we've had in the past with product. And
Yeah.
I think that's not to be overlooked. Um, Whereas
Mhm.
people are taking that and applying it to this when it's really not the same thing, but that kind of bad will in that sense that has been built up kind of got thrown at that, which I think is a little unfair. I do agree, it's a convention exclusive. It's for the people that are at the convention. I know that gating it to conventions annoys people, but it's a sales game. It's they've got to you got to make money. And what's a good tactic to get eyes, make money, do something exactly like this. And who's to say there won't be something that you can get on a retailer level down the line that's similar to this product or even different that gets to retailers? I just I think that more product and ways to get it is just overall good.
Yeah.
Again, there's just more things. It's more carrots. It's literally what we want. We want more things to do. Again, if you're not going, I feel for you. If you're out there trying to proxy somebody to buy your stuff, I feel for you. I sympathize. If I wasn't going, there'd be 0% chance I get it. And me going doesn't mean I'm getting it.
Yeah. We have no clue if we're going to. We're just
we
going to
don't
try.
know. We're just gonna try, just like everybody else. We're gonna see what happens, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, we get a little EPO after SDCC and see how it goes for everybody there. I imagine it will be much more of a rat race at Gen Con than SDCC by the virtue of the convention itself.
The demographic who's attending.
Yes, exactly. The demographic. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. We'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be fun.
I agree with something you said there that I think is really important just to note is that if set 1 were in stock and set 2 were under MSRP or something, I do think there would have been less ill will about this.
Absolutely.
Um, it really is just like it's a situation where they haven't yet shown that they have a good read on the size of the player base with their product yet. Not that they've had a good opportunity to necessarily, because there wasn't enough time to pivot for set 2. But it's very easy. It's a very, very fair assumption to just go, well, I assume this is underprinted as well.
Yeah.
I think based on the nature of the product, it was probably printed after set 1
Mm-hmm.
released, possibly. I think that's possible, at least. I'm not positive. It would really, no one can really know without being involved in there. But if that's the case, it's hopefully based on a set 1 read of the player base and not a preset one.
What if there's just like one?
There's just one. We're going to release this at the convention. A limited number per day. One. Yeah, Surprise. That would so remember how I said they could get the spectacle and please everybody? I'm pretty sure pissing off everybody but one person at the convention
they get the spectacle. That's for sure.
That would be the wrong kind of spectacle to have. Yeah, that's not what we want.
No, overall it's cool. I'm excited to have a chance to try to get this. And if I wasn't going, I'd be excited for everybody else to get a chance. Hopefully we leave with some. That would be really cool.
We'll try. We'll do our best.
And for my locals who is like, you'll go again, for me, absolutely not. I'm going to try to get it for me once, and that's enough.
My assumption is that there's going to be some sort of hole punch.
And there should be.
Well, they very explicitly, Jason, they very explicitly say in the article that it's 1 per person per convention.
Yes.
Per event. So I don't think you'll be able to sneak in and get a second one, even if you're like...
It wasn't my intention either way, but I could just shave and get like a buzz cut real quick.
Can you put a wig on your badge if they hole punch it? So that's
probably.
Like,
I would cut all my hair off.
I already had that hole punch.
I cut all my hair off, so I would have hair. No. Yeah, and I think that making sure that they hold to that will be key, because there are going to be people who are definitely going with the intention of making a killing off of this. I'm keeping mine. I normally I do sell these kind of things, but this one is way too cool not to keep.
100% keeping mine.
Way too cool not to keep.
Yep. Absolutely agreed. I want to mention one more thing just before I think our main topic today is going to be just a little laid back and chill. I don't think we're going to be
Yeah.
blasting for too long about that. So I'm going to mention one more bit of news as well, just because I think it is pretty important. But the organized play
Yeah.
live stream was held the last week, and the major news, they had some early details about planetary qualifiers, the amount that are being held, mentioning that there's going to be a much smaller amount of planetary qualifiers for set 2. It's going to be expanding greatly in set 3, but planetary qualifiers are the new tier that we're going to have beyond the store showdown level, that are going to be held at your LGS, well, at some
At
LGSs,
some.
and then
Yeah.
at a lot more LGSs in set 3. Um, they mentioned that they're sticking to the sort of the previously announced plan of they're going to have a Galactic Championship event that is going to be a non-invitational, an open event, basically, for the first one, and then the future ones are going to be invitational as planned.
Hmm.
And your victories at planetary qualifiers are going to earn you buys, if I recall.
Yes.
So they just kind of they went over some of the same stuff they did. The big piece of news from my perspective is that they announced that they are canning the
Oh.
Fantasy Flight software. And they are in talks, in discussion, finalizing a another software they're going to be using, which is one that is used for other
Hmm.
games right now. So it's one of these softwares that sort of licenses to multiple games and allows them to be used officially. And they just kind of like Fantasy Flight pays them, and they kind of work in the specifics of
Yeah.
Star Wars Unlimited into their system so that you can run events for Unlimited with their software. They did not announce which one,
Ah.
and I have opinions based on which one it is.
Yeah. Me too. I have concerns. Some very strong concerns,
Jason,
but I mean, I don't know. We'll see, I
no, let
guess.
me guess. Is your concern that this is melee.gg?
Yeah, 500%. As somebody, you and I have now are back in the LGS scene and we're working behind the scenes again and organizing events. It, it's not good. It's
I
ugh,
I have a lot of, I'm going to say this as politically as possible.
yeah.
I have a lot of constructive feedback I could provide to the melee.gg team if they
Hmm.
ever want to reach out and receive feedback. They've probably heard it before. I would be surprised if they
Right.
hadn't, but I have it as well. So that's where I'm at with that. I am desperately hoping it isn't melee.gg. I'm fine if it's something like Best Coast Pairings or
Yeah.
something. That's fine with me. I can deal with that. I have seen other TCGs put out their own software with mixed results. Some are very, very good. Grand Archive. Some are very, very mediocre to bad. Um, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see what, yeah, we'll see what they go with, which they decide with, and how it turns out. Uh, I will say that the Fantasy Flight software was very feature poor.
Sure.
It was missing a lot of things that would really make it work nicely. It like worked in the most basic sense of the word. Um, some softwares are more feature rich. Some softwares are too feature rich, right? To the point where they become obtuse and difficult to use. I don't know. We'll see where they land, but it's hopefully a gain is where I'm going to end up.
I feel like it should be a gain because, like, I think if they're going to invest in this and all that, there has to be concerns that I'm sure are known and have been brought
Yeah.
up, and hopefully that is part of that process. And when that rolls out, that'll be great. We'll see. Right now, we're all kind of choosing our own adventure at local levels on what softwares we're using at this time, which leads to
Yep.
hilarious results across the board with breakers at different stores and different events. But that's kind of where we're at right now. I mean,
Yep.
it's just your store is going to use what works for them or what they have access to.
It is a wild west of that
Yeah.
kind of tournament software right now.
So we'll see. Hopefully, we'll get something that works great, and all of this would have been for naught.
Yep. If we get a good one, that's great. That's awesome.
That's
Then
awesome.
then props to the team. But until we hear, we just don't know. So we're just guessing. Okay. Let's move on. I want to really briefly mention just our usual interlude here. But if you guys enjoy Galactic Ambition, you like our main deck podcast, you like what you're hearing here, you find our insight even mildly interesting, thank you so much for listening. Really do appreciate that. You can support us by doing the usual interactions with the video down below, 5-star ratings on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. All that kind of stuff is super good. Really appreciate that. Comment down below with your thoughts and, of course, anything that we are talking about. We'd love to chat with you as well about those things. Really do appreciate that. And then if you are looking to buy singles for Star Wars Unlimited or any other card game, we do have a TCG Player affiliate link. You can use that as bit.ly/shoptcgs. That's bit.ly/shoptcgs. Link is down below. If you buy any really rad singles on there, we will get a little kickback of what you're buying. It costs you no extra monies. It just sends monies our way. Really do appreciate all your support that way. So thank you so much. Okay, Jason, what are we talking about today, huh? You want to inform the audience? I don't think we've even said it.
Yeah, I think we're just talking about what we've been jamming since, the set's here. It's here.
Yeah.
So what are we playing? So Dan,
what we've been playing.
What are you playing?
Kylo MF Ren.
Oh, dang.
I said a swear letter.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm being naughty. Kylo Ren is who I'm playing. So audience, dear audience, I did my live stream, 2 cases for whoever tuned in. Thank you so much for joining for that. If you want to put on some very long background noise, you can always is on YouTube. So you can always turn on our live stream there and listen to me and my hopium as I was opening 2 more cases of Star Wars Unlimited. And I will spoil it right now. So I guess turn off the podcast if you don't want to. I don't know. Whatever. I assume it's fine at this point. I went 2 more cases with no showcase opened, which puts me at a grand total of, actually, let's see, we have 5 cases, 3 spark, 2 shadows. I had a booster box from the content creator community event. I had a booster box. Was I sent a booster box too? I can't remember if I was sent one or not. Maybe for Spark. I've lost it to time at this point. Maybe I wasn't sent one there. I've entered in a total of 3 pre-releases. I've opened an additional 5 packs from that content creator kit, another pre-release kit. I don't know. I'm up to somewhere, north of 32, 33 boxes. Is where we're at with 0 showcases that I have physically opened. That said, I had very, very sick legendary hits in my cases for shadows, including a hyperfoil crate dragon. And I had a local who pulled a showcase Kylo Ren. And baby, I sat down with him. I'm like, here's all my extra legendaries, including the hyperfoil crate. We shook hands, and I am now the proud owner of a Kylo Ren showcase, and I am going to be playing so much Kylo Ren, you have no idea.
Well, I was happy when I saw you traded for all that. We're able to trade all off to get to it, because hearing that you didn't open, because I wasn't able to check anything out because work has been crazy. To hear that out of the amount of product you open was kind of baffling, but unsurprising in a way.
Yeah, some guys have all the luck, and they aren't me. That's for sure. No, it's so I've traded everything too. Like, what did it cost? Everything for this Kylo Ren. But I have him now. I did this after I basically finished my first event with Kylo Ren Green. I was playing Kylo Green. I'm doing the pitching Palpatine's return stuff. And I'm going to say it right now. Is that consistent enough to win you like a sector or a galactic or something? Probably not right now. Probably not right now, just because Palpatine's return is the only thing that enables it. You kind of have to see that. Is it extremely effective when you see it? Yes. Holy cow. Cheating out Palpatine without having to spend turns ramping. Like, I'm spending these turns just putting dudes down, pumping them with Kylo, attacking up into stuff, like managing the board. And then I'm going, cool, here's a Palpatine. And then or things like ECL Kylo Ren.
Mm,
I whoa, I love Kylo Ren Legendary because 8 power on ECL is the leader killer that you've been looking for.
yeah, that is
It
nasty.
is it is sick. The deck just has a ton of fun. Migs was so good actually. Migs was like
Mm,
insane. Every time I played him, he's been nuts. Yeah, I really dig the deck. It's really fun. The sort of discard to reanimate play loop is really enjoyable. The fact that the deck can also just push out like extreme aggression if it wants to, it can just kind of go wild even in that green version, let alone the mono red one obviously can just go nuts.
right.
Um, but yeah, I've been having a ton of fun. I really dig Kylo. His flip side was predictably very medium to
Mm.
bad. He flipped out there. At one point, I flipped him out as a 0-5. I was like, here you go. It's a leader.
He's here.
um, yeah, I can't even explain to you why I did that at the time. I had a thought out reason for it, but I don't remember now. But I went 2-1 at the first event. I lost to a green Sabine because I was playing some jank and I'm tweaking the deck to have a little more game against the fast aggro. Um, so a few tweaks to make, but it is man, it's a fun deck. I really dug it.
It sounds like you were having a lot of fun. I know you were really excited to build it, so I'm glad you were able to get some games in with it. It's kind of it when you made it a point that it's like you don't have to play Kylo as this crazy aggressive leader. You can play it as like this reanimator kind of play style. I don't think some people kind of realize that, like genuinely, especially like among people I know in my friend group. They
Yeah.
didn't think about that, or just playing this kind of like, kind of a different take on it, which kind of leads to some very hilarious things like having, a 0-5 leader, because you're not hyper feeding into that strategy of just saying low the ground on hand size. um,
Yep.
but it sounds like it has a lot of game to it, and you said Migs. I'm like, I'm not surprised. Migs seems like he'd be insane in that list.
Yeah, he was a champion. There's some really cool stuff you can do with Migs actually. Things like you can play him turn 1 on the if you have the initiative, you can play him turn 1. If your opponent plays anything that has only 2 HP, you can actually just that turn pitch to Migs to or pitch to Kylo to deal 2 damage to it with Migs and just take it out. So they go into their turn 2 with nothing on board already, and Migs like he can do that to protect himself against something that has only 2 HP and would kill him otherwise. Um, which makes him like slightly more resilient than he seems like. Don't get me wrong. 2 HP is the death zone. Like you are in grave danger of anything killing you. Um, but he stayed on board way more than I think he had any right to. And the more turns he stays on board, the more just like disgusting his value is.
Yeah, it seems like that it would grind out a lot of value if uncontested, and sometimes people just kind of don't want to contest with units like that. They're like, oh, I'll take care of it with this when I go to play this, and then I'll do this, rather than using this. Like, you don't want to use your heavy removal on a a too toughness guy, but at the same turn, look at how much value it's grinding out of your game. So it's win
Yeah.
win either way. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because the card is really cool, and it feels like in that list it'd be super awesome.
I am actively going to look for some hyperfoil MIGs. I actually opened one, which I was excited about, but like I just fell in love with his play patterns, and it's also cool just to beat up people with Bill Burr. Like you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Um, I also want to just really briefly mention before I pass the mic to you to talk about your play that I did have one game where I my deck was absolutely doing the thing, and I reanimated the same Emperor Palpatine 3 times. He was truly he was truly unlimited power. That yeah, you like the game was unlosable at that point. And the thing I really like about this version of this deck in particular is that it has so much end game. Like this is a deck that can push fairly aggressively in the mid game if it wants to, like with like Kylo, just like slamming down and smashing, and just the ability to have Kylo leader pump up things like with Migs. Like you can just attack for 6 that turn by pitching a
Yeah.
card 4 with Migs and 2 damage from Migs's trigger. But when it goes to the late game, it's like, well, how many Palpatines can you actually survive? Because I will have a lot of them plus Vaders plus Kylos. I'm running three of each of them: three Vader, three Kylo, three Palpatine in here because there's no reason not to when you can just pitch them and you want to pitch them actively to get
Yeah.
value.
It seems very annoying, and it's exciting that you're playing Palpatine's Return. I really want to play that card.
Yeah, very fun. Now, all right, that's enough talking about me. I want to hear, Jason, all about your rips and your stories
All
and your
right,
deck you're playing. You're playing a very different deck
my
than me.
rips stunk.
Well, damn.
Sorry. No, so my box was the nice 2 legendary box, which
Oh
is already
no.
awesome. And it was the 2 legendaries were okay. It was at least they're good legendaries. It was a Mandalorian and a TIE Silencer, so that was at least fine. So I was happy with that. The rest of my box I was very not happy with. I didn't get any of the stuff I was looking for. Even without beating the drum about the collation issues, it's definitely a thing. And when you're not opening a volume of product to say other people, it definitely, or even people opening large volumes of product, we're still leaving with 1 or 2 of a specific rare, or
Yeah.
sometimes none.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. Outside of that, I was able to trade for some of the stuff I need. I didn't really go too crazy for the stuff and the stuff that I'm playing, the trades for the stuff I needed, because I had a lot of it already. Because I didn't go too way outside the box of my deck, because the deck I want to build, I can't get Pose, I can't get Great Dragons right now. I'm going to probably work on that after my little vacation in a week or so, or Gen Con.
Yeah.
So I was like, I like playing Blue Villainy. I talk about it all the time. Like, Blue Villainy is really good. So I was like, what can I do that's new? So when I saw Gar Saxon, I was like, huh, cool. Okay. And then I saw more of the cards we were getting. Okay, cool. And then I saw Second Chance. And that's when I stopped. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute here. You mean I could just play this on this guy and, it comes back into play for free? And then if I'm deployed, I just get this Second Chance back, just do it all over again. That led me to Mono Blue Gar, which has been admittedly very annoying and a lot of fun. I don't know how good it is. I feel like in the games I haven't been able to play a ton because work's been beating me up a little bit in a good way. We're busy. Busy is good. But in the games I did play, Mono Blue Guard feels very much like a control list, or even maybe not control, more like a mid-range, heavy mid-range leaning into control deck list. I'm still tinkering it around, so I might send Dan a link for it by the time I'm done with it, because I'm going to make some changes like literally tonight that I haven't really gone over yet, but I won't, just in case people want to see it. But basically, you're kind of leveraging Gar to play units that already come with an upgrade, like a shield token. I think a common misconception when people saw Gar is that you need to play upgrades to make him viable. Yeah, sure, it helps, but why don't you just play units that come upgraded?
Yeah.
And the good thing is Blue has a ton of units that say shielded on it, so that is great. So stuff like Cargo Juggernaut, which is already a ton of value. How about even more value? Gets to punch up a little higher. Lieutenant Childson's an absolute nightmare in this list.
After my heart.
With Second Chance, you go Second Chance into Childson, replay the Childson if they go to kill it. It leads to very annoying decision paths for your opponent. You're playing very sticky, protected units that don't die except to hard removal. Because like a lot of the stuff I'm playing, without getting into too many details, I'm playing the Client in this list. He's been a lot of fun. Again, he's a 3/5 with a shield for 3. That's fine. That's an acceptable stat line that allows me, when I'm not punching, to just be like, I'm going to give that the bounty that I'll heal 5 from a base when it dies. Things like that, so I can get a little free healing. It's so cool, the stuff you can kind of do with the Client. I've had a lot of fun with that. And my favorite card in the entire list, outside of Avenger, because I'm playing Avenger, has been Snoke. What a fun card that has been.
Tell me about your Snoke experiences. I'm very excited about this.
We're already playing in the colors that want a card like this. We're in double blue. Or we already have, without going into the set one stuff, we're playing Vigilance, we're playing Takedown, we're playing copies of Avenger, a lot of the hits. Snoke kind of ties into that really well. It shuts the door on whatever, if the aggro game didn't close out, the door is shut.
It's done.
It's
done.
over. If they got to that point, congratulations. Try to deal with this. They simply can't in the games I had. And that's part of the reason why I didn't go Yellow Gar, because Yellow Gar also seems really awesome. Like, there's a lot of cool things going on there with cunning that you can do. But second chance, and then Snoke is another good reason to kind of just stay in this hyper controlling play, play within my means of just being really grinding out early game value by punching up really easy with units that are durable because they have shields. Another thing that I went away from my philosophy of playing 30 hit point bases, I'm playing Security Complex. I went back and forth, but Security Complex is actually super nasty in this list because
it's disgusting.
It also says +1/+0 to your guy.
Yeah. I think Security Complex is super justifiable in Gar,
and
in Mono Blue Gar.
With the extra healing we have between stuff like, the Client and Cargo Juggernaut, it's actually, I feel it's been okay. I still have lost some games, mainly to kind of questionable draws against, I played against my buddy after we closed up the shop the other night on Yellow Sabine. Yeah, Yellow Sabine. And I lost some games there. I haven't really.
Yellow Sabine is the one that can just burst damage faster than most too. Yeah. So
I wasn't upset, but a lot of it is just like greatest hits. As far as some of the newer stuff, like upgrade wise, I've been back and forth on Darksaber, weirdly enough, because I'm in Mono Blue. I really don't have that many Mandalorian units. In fact, spoiler, now I think I'm just going to have one ground Mandalorian unit, and that would be Gar himself. I was playing Follow Away. I took that out.
Did you take the Super Commandos out? Or is that what they're? I'm sorry. Am I remembering Super Commando? Yeah, Super Commando Squad. You're not playing Super Commando Squad?
Not right now. It might go back in my list in this revision that I'm working on.
That's wrong, right?
It could be wrong.
You're being wrong right now, right?
I mean, yes and no. I don't know. I feel like
or is it just a bad Chilton in your list?
I feel Chilton's just better. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, you play Chilton, you get a 6/6 Sentinel. He's a 7/6. He's essentially invincible in this list. I don't know.
Super Commando in this list is a 5/4 shielded Sentinel for 5.
But I have a lot of ways to get shields around too.
Yeah.
I just feel like in Mono Blue I get more value out of Chilton here.
I feel like that's fair. I'm not gonna argue that.
Yeah.
But Super Commando Squad in particular in the Security Complex list.
Oh yeah.
Is so disgusting to drop this down 5/4 shielded. They're like, oh, fine. Okay. Attack into it. Fine. I got rid of the shield. Now it doesn't have Sentinel. Now it's just a 4/4. Okay. Use Security Complex shielded again.
Yeah.
Like, boy, man, like it would take me a lot to take that out of an early list, but I'm going to say you're getting me hyped.
So
like
here's a really fun as I am. I want to build
this
now. When like you're not under any pressure, really, you can go Viper Probe Droid, put a shield on it, and just start beating them with it.
For 4.
Because I'm playing Probe Droid because I am playing Regional Director right now. Or Governor. I always mix that up. Governor, Director. Governor. Yeah, I don't know why I do that. I don't know. I just have slow brain. But I do play that because I just love that card. It's a pet card of mine. I really enjoy that card. And in games right now, I just board it out. But yeah, cards like Gideon Hask, which I've always really liked. I finally have a list where I finally have a list where I feel like I can play it and really get a lot of value out of it. And then you're just playing a lot of hits, right? Like Inferno 4, just incredible amount of value. New cards, like Clan Saxon Gauntlet, very good card.
Do you play TIE Advanced?
Not right now, but
okay. But I think I would build a different list than yours, and I'm really excited about that.
So it's funny that you say that because, like, I have my notepad open, and that's one of the cards that I'm looking at playtesting because that does seem really cool.
I think TIE Advance turning Inferno 4 into a 5
Yeah,
power,
that's
if
filthy.
a 5/5, um, that's pretty
Yeah,
gross.
and yeah, that's filthy. As far as new stuff, I think the most favorite card I've been playing so far, weirdly enough, has been Covert Strength.
Oh,
What
no, I can
a
see.
banger of a card!
I think that was a little sneaky card
Ugh,
that I don't think people talked about enough.
it is
The
so
covert strength.
good.
I think we've done, Jason. I believe we've done the thing this podcast where we've said a lot of card names but haven't actually described the
Yeah.
card. So, to our audio listeners, I greatly apologize.
Hopefully they're set one
um,
cards.
Jason and I got very excited about all the new cards, and we're
Yeah.
just talking about them and weren't actually explaining them. So I'm going to start right now with Covert Strength, which is a 1 cost blue event with heal 2 damage from a unit and give an experience token to it, and Smuggle for 3 still in the blue aspect. So Jason, now go ahead and talk about this card.
It's just it's got value at so many points of the game, weirdly enough. It feels like it's innocuous, but like fogging off that damage and giving it +1/+1, which is actually +2/+1, is really, really good for 1, and even for 3. There's going to be games where you have, well, I've got nothing going on. I guess I'll just smuggle this and kind of make a trade better in my end, or just a kind of pile on damage, like sneaky, just kind of get ahead.
It does 2 things that on their own I wouldn't pay 1 for,
Right.
but together I feel like I'm underpaying at 1.
Mm-hmm.
When it's, when they're relevant, you get that scenario where like, oh, actually this is really good. But the real strength is the fact that you can just freely resource this early in the game. And at that clutch time when those 2 things are useful, you you might well be willing to pay 3 for it and not go down in cards in hand, which is, it's just, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super good. I just think that smuggle is so strong in general. So it's like paying 1 for an ability that it's kind of you're overpaying, and then 3 for an ability that you're okay with just justifying at some point in the game. It's just action economy. It's very good. The last card I really want to touch on real quick is Public Enemy. That's been a busted card too.
Really?
Yes. So
Okay.
let me go ahead, and you're sitting across from me. I'm going to attack your guy who now is
Well,
a
let me
public.
read the card first.
Yeah. Oh no,
Can I do
I'm
that?
gonna do it as part of my
Oh,
thing.
go for it. Go for
Come
it.
on, can you let me work here?
I'm, oh, sorry.
So I got my shielded guy. Your guy has a public enemy attached, which is just a 0 cost blue card that says attached unit gains bounty. Give a shield token to a unit. So how about I attack my shielded unit into your guy with the bounty on it? I lost my shield, but you know what the cool part is? I probably just got it back. What's the problem with that?
Sure. Sure.
It's actually been overperforming, in my opinion. Like, it just, again, it makes these threats without hard removal awkward to deal with. And I just want to make their plan as difficult as possible. Now, if they're playing hard removal, again, this card probably gets boarded out a lot of the time. Because against a harder removal deck anyway, I'm bringing in probably just... actually, I haven't really messed with my sideboard too much yet. I got to work on that a little more. I feel like this is good in the main deck when I'm going into kind of just my normal stock matchups, maybe some aggro list, stuff like that. It kind of makes my units trading way more favorable because I'll get a shield back, which, I like that. It's been a lot of fun. I wish it cantripped itself in a way because, I'm playing not card positive in that way. But it's been a lot of fun. And again, it kind of goes with the theme of just being as obnoxious as possible. And I feel like it's a very obnoxious card. Again, when people see these cards and they're like, they don't take in a stock, like, okay, well, that's whatever. But then it actually does what it's supposed to do on the tin. They're like, that's really annoying. And that's kind of the point.
I think I'm not sure I'm sold on Public Enemy,
You don't have to be.
but I think that's something that you brought up here, sort of reading between the lines, that I was underselling on this card is like, we have cards like Moment of Peace that just put a shield,
Yeah.
on something as an event. So I look at Public Enemy like, why do I need a weird version of Moment of Peace? Why is that playable? But it is the fact that when you want a Moment of Peace something, you had to have given your opponent had an action basically unless it's really specific, where you thing out a shield, your opponent attacked into it, and then you put the shield back on it. That's
Mhm.
where you can, get, a similar result. But a lot of the time, it's like you're going to put something in play, then you're going to say, okay, opponent, your action. And then they'll go, okay, I can answer your guy right now if I want to. And then then finally you get your action where you get to put a shield on it. Where Public Enemy, like you said, you can attack into something, lose the shield, and then immediately shield it, never giving your opponent an action where your thing was
or
shields down.
or better yet, which I've been using it mostly for, it's like my like unit on the board is Chilson, and I was like, here's that for your guy. You were gonna try to attack, yeah, just give him. You know what I mean? It's just like it gets
Yeah.
super. It just makes plays super awkward. And again, there's no world in a constructed where I'm ever gonna jam a moment's peace because it's not. It's too much not on my terms, weirdly enough, even though I'm deciding when to cast it. Whereas this is like, okay, opponent, now it's your problem to deal with versus my own decision back. So I've really enjoyed it. Again, everyone's mileage may vary. I've been having a lot of fun with the card. And yeah, a lot of the other stuff is just stock kind of, your mid-rangey blue control stuff. Trying more new cards. I was playing Kragagan, the 6-drop. You can probably,
Yeah.
if you want to talk about him real quick, or just tell him what he does.
Yeah, I gotta pull him up. Craig and Gore.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Um, I played him in limited, I think, just as
Mm-hmm.
a body, and he was fine. He is a 6-cost villainy, 6/6 underworld unique unit with when an enemy unit attacks your base, give a shield token to a friendly unit in the same arena as the attacker.
So that was in the list, and I cut it because I'm playing so much dang Sentinel already. I'm like, this card really doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he'll go out there and be like, well, I
That
mean, he could attack for 6, but yeah, you could be doing
Yeah,
something,
I don't know.
playing something he
I
does a
was
lot
just
more.
trying to like see how I could cheekily get upgrades onto my things without not so much reactive investment, or proactive investment. I want reactive investment where it's just like, oh, it happens in because of something versus me doing it myself. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And probably in a week or so, I'll have a list I feel comfortable like publishing, and then maybe we could share that with everybody. But again, it's been a leader I've really been enjoying. I'm a big fan of playing. I've learned that I'm a big fan of playing like these nasty, grindy games all of a sudden. I don't know when that switch
Yeah,
flipped, which is like
I'm kind
complete.
of proud of you, Jason. I'm
Yeah,
excited about that. I love that.
but it also lends well with cards like Follower of the Way and stuff. I can be very aggressive still. So I like having that shell, and I think Gar kind of creates that. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Very cool. Two quite different decks that you and I have been toying with. You've got me too excited to build a Gar deck now. My spaceman. I
Yeah,
gotta
I want
throw
that
them
showcase
together.
really bad.
It is a nice one.
It's
Yeah, it's
really
a nice
nice,
looking showcase,
but it means I
and
have to pull like anything but like 2 legendaries in a box.
he looks in the showcase. He looks less Flash Gordon, which I think I prefer.
It feels kind of like Doom Guy.
Let me look at this
I kind of
again.
like Doom Guy vibes a little bit.
I've got I've got the picture up for everyone. Of course I did. I'm sure I
Yeah,
remembered to do
I'm
that.
sure you did.
Um, oh yeah, every time I see him, he reminds me of um what the Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I see Bruce Campbell when I see
I like that.
this Gar
I didn't
Saxon
think
art.
about that. Now I'm gonna not be able to not see that. So
Yeah, just like to get your showcase altered with like a chainsaw arm and stuff, and like, or sorry, shotgun arm. Am I just being stupid right now?
oh,
What's
I
on
mean
his arm
I mean he has a chainsaw.
in Evil Dead?
Yes,
It's
chainsaw.
in the it's a chainsaw on the arm, right?
Yeah, it's on
Okay,
his
good.
arm.
I didn't completely
That's
forget.
okay. You're okay.
I am not a moviegoer if it
This isn't
doesn't
the
have Star
Evil
Wars in
Dead
the title. So
verse card game podcast, so it's fine.
no, it's Star Wars. It's
I'm a
Star Wars.
big
People.
horror guy, so like this is all right up my alley. So I got your back, buddy.
Okay, thank
You're
you,
welcome.
thank you. Replace the dark saber with a chainsaw.
That'd
That's
be
what you
cool.
need.
They should do that.
They need a dark
We need more
chainsaw actually.
chainsaws in this card game.
Anyway, okay,
Anywho,
so
all right, moving on. That was fun, but we
no,
are
I
playing 2 different decks. I think it's really
yeah.
cool to kind of see what we're doing and kind of peel back the curtain of what's going on in our locals. Everybody's having a lot of fun. Um, it's really excited to see everyone open product and build new decks and kind of get away from their comfort zones of what they were playing. Me in particular, this is way kind of outside of my normal comfort zone, but I'm having a lot of fun with it.
we're doing something at our locals that I think is helping people push outside their comfort zone a little bit. We implemented our leagues, our season long league that we started last week.
All
So
right.
from the launch of Shadows of the Galaxy all the way up to the pre-release for Twilight of the Republic, our Saturday events at our locals are league events where the players are earning points when they play. They get a point for participating, and if they win, or if they go three, we just do three round tournaments. If they go 3-0, they get a second point as well. So that's just kind of cool. There's like a prize structure at the end based on points and everything. But the thing that I added on to this was if based on the leader they play, they can get like bonus points. Basically, they get either purple or red points. Purple
Ooh.
if they play a shadows leader, red if they play an underdog leader. And I have a list of 8 underperforming leaders from Shadows or from Spark of Rebellion. And we had basically an even split for the first event, which is really cool to see. We had a chunk of people playing kind of, Boba, Sabine, Leia. We had a chunk of people playing new Shadows leaders, and we had a chunk of people who were like, no. I'm going to play Tarkin. I'm going to play Thrawn. I'm going to play like fun stuff like that. And yeah, it was cool. We had like a really diverse group of decks, and it was just really fun to see. So yeah, I really dig that. People feel free to cop that idea if you like.
Yeah.
We're just giving like the person who gets the most points in each category gets a free pre-release entry.
Oh, that's
at
really
set
cool.
3.
I'll steal that. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, go for it. It's been a lot of fun.
No, it's. I think the best thing right now we can do for our local communities is make it exciting as possible. We have new stuff. We have new things to do with it. Try to broaden everybody's horizons. Play IG88.
He's on the list.
Get in the trenches with old IG88.
Oh, IG88. Yeah, I was looking at prices for cards today as I was pricing out like a collection, and I noticed that Jin was below IG88 in cost.
Wow.
IG88 has the Underworld tag though. Like I haven't really looked into it.
Yeah, I was already saying. I imagine there's some gaming to be had with them.
And Bounty Hunter. Yeah, maybe you can do something now.
But yeah, get out there, play these underdog lists. Maybe your locals will do something cool like Dan did. Maybe it'll be me and steal it for your locals. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? But I think that about wraps it up. I feel like that was a nice little conversation.
That's what we got for today. I think we will not be back in 2 weeks.
We will not.
We will actually be seeing many of you at Gen Con, hopefully, in 2 weeks, playing some Shadows Limited, playing some Construct. I'll probably be jamming. I'll either be jamming Kylo Ren, or Jason's going to talk me into playing some oppressive Gar Saxon.
It's a lot of fun. I am going to have to build a Twin Suns deck before Gen Con because Dan is harassing all of us to do it.
Yes.
So that means I need to get off my butt. I'm actually going to go to the shop tonight, as soon as I'm done. And I'm actually going to go order some singles from the shop, and then maybe use our affiliate link to get some more cards later tonight, so I could actually get a Twin Suns deck before we go. Yeah, let us know what you guys are doing. We really appreciate you guys all listening and taking the time out of your day, whatever you're doing, to listen to us talk and pontificate and complain. We do complain sometimes, but that's okay. It's good.
A little bit.
I feel like we complain.
We're not constructive.
It's constructive, but we definitely complain. We find a point to constructively complain about something each episode. But I think that's just us. I think
you're content creators, though. You kind of have to put out an opinion of some kind out there.
And my opinion is, if you liked what you saw, leave us a like, leave a comment, tell us what you're playing at your locals, tell us about what you pulled. Tell us about how your pets might be scared of other loud noises in the Star Wars universe. Let me know if I'm not alone in this. All right. For Dan, I'm Jason. Thank you so much for watching Galactic Ambition, part of the Main Deck podcast family. We won't see you in 2 weeks, but if you see us at Gen Con, say hello, stop what you're doing, come find us. We'd be loving to meet everybody. Until then, thank you so much. We'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.